Hello, beauties. All right, give me a moment. I am streaming live into Facebook and also Instagram. So I just need to make sure that I am live. If you're joining me here, welcome. Wow, wow, wow. What a big energy we're in right here, right now. So excited to pop in here and share a couple of things that are coming up in my world and also what is coming up for the world ahead in time. So, welcome. If you're here live, please say hello. And if you are on the replay, absolutely hashtag replay. I would love to connect with you through collapsing time and space. We have no hold on time and space right here. We are always connected no matter what it is. Time and space is just a mind made construct. Hello, hello, hello. Please say hello. Please say your name if you're on Instagram, and I will love to say hello to you as well. All right. So, when one door closes, another opens. And this is the huge theme that is going to happen coming up as we come up to the winter solstice. And I'm going to share with you a little bit about why, coming from the perspective of Taoist alchemy, coming from the perspective of the lunar Chinese calendar, because that is what I work with mostly. That is the kind of tradition that I carry in the work that I do. And also very much more than anything else, obviously, we're going to look into as a collective, energetically, beyond the structures of traditions, obviously, and what is going on in my world as well, and the offerings and the changes and all the things, all the things. So stay tuned, stay here. If you are tuning in, you don't want to miss this. So, first and foremost, we are in the year of rabbit, and the year before that we were very much in the tiger year. When we look at the zodiac signs that are moving through each year, we were very much in the water element. But next year it's going to be really exciting because we're actually exiting the water element and into the wood element. And for me, when I feel into wood is about growing. Wood is about expanding. It's like, imagine we planted a seed, and the wood element is all about pushing forth. It's all about growing upward. It's all about expansion. And so coming up towards the winter solstice, which in the Chinese tradition we call Dongzi or Dongji, we will be celebrating yin at its deepest, at her deepest. And this celebration comes, in the form of reunion with your family. In the traditional times, it is a time when the older family relatives are very much taken care of, and family members will return home to sit with them, have dinner with them. It's because during the winter, this is literally what they call the dead of winter, and oftentimes a lot of death happens around the time that is related to what we call Dongzi or winter solstice. And when I speak about death, it's often so easy for us to say, oh, that's bad and this is not good. And what I really want to bring forth to you is that this is a powerful time for us to not just integrate what we have gained, but also what we have relinquished. And that is death, in other words. That is death, because in death, we oftentimes have to let go of certain things. We have to let go of things that are no longer serving us. And sometimes when we do not understand what death really means, when we do not understand the darkest night of darkness, we tend to come towards it with fear. We come towards it with anxiety, and we don't know what it is. And when we don't know what it is very hard to consciously cultivate strength and infinite power in that state. And so I want to really bring forth a little energy update in terms of what we can do. And during this winter solstice, if you have not heard yet, I am actually doing a lioness collaboration. We started on the 88 portal, and we did a 1111 portal, and now we're closing the chapter with the winter solstice. So we're hosting a winter solstice ceremony this Friday together on the 22nd. So if you'd like to join us, please comment. I will drop the link and you can register, and we can all come together and really sit in ceremony and really welcome in the darkest of darkest nights and let go of the things that no longer serve us, so that we clear the space for the new to come in. Because here's the thing I really want to share is that in the darkness, we get to really rest. In the darkness, we get to really regroup and renew. If I am grieving, if I am angry, if I need to sit with something and perhaps even forgive, I go to the darkness. And the darkness sometimes is where we oftentimes misunderstand. The darkness is where all the limitless potential exists. And you, as a woman of mastery, you get to do this, to go into the yin with full confidence. With that mastery right under your arm, you're gonna walk into this winter solstice and really integrate all that has really come into your realm this year. And then when we move forward, because we will inevitably do so, it doesn't matter whether you give yourself time out to rest and renew, or you just really sink in and let this stillness be one with you. We will always inevitably be moving forward and spiraling upward. And so how can we open up to new life? How can we open up to new opportunities? We close some doors so that the new ones can open. It's like we have to spill some of the old, outdated tea that has been sitting in your cup for a while now, and allow yourself to pour in new ones. So when we come into winter solstice, this is a brilliant time to really embody the light that is coming in, the holy light that is coming through. It's literally pouring in to your consciousness. We are here to embody the light because you are source. You are the divine. All of us are. And when we really allow ourselves to anchor this in so deeply in this dimension, what happens is we will rise. Our soul rises from this deep anchoring in this dimension. Because this is the most crucial thing I would love to share with every one of you here. Our multidimensionality is not a choice. It is who we are. We don't get to say, I choose to be multidimensional today, and when I'm dealing with my stepfather or my mother or my brother or my sister, I'm going to turn off my multidimensionality because they won't understand. Or when I walk into the office, like maybe you have a 9-to-5 job, or you're a big CEO managing hundreds of employees, and you say, well, they're not going to get what I'm saying when I have, and maybe I feel like my angel guide is with me and I really want to share what's streaming through in the energy field. I have a feeling about this. Now, I want you to really trust your intuition, because I know that when you're managing so many things in your life, when you're managing so many people in your life, especially, you already are moving from your intuition because you have to make decisions so quickly. So whether you realize this or not, you already are very much intuitively tapped in. But you've been doing this for so long that you just move, and maybe you haven't really been consciously aware of how you've been really refining this intuition. Imagine, and I really want to bring this forward to you, it's like imagine if you have actually consciously refined and cultivated this mastery in the mystery, because your intuition arises from the mystery. You're moving from one unknown to the next. And this is what is being asked of us right now. For all of us, as we move into the wood element and we receive the dragon. The dragon is rising and is coming in swift and fast. In fact, the Lunar New Year is in January. Right after winter solstice, we have Christmas, and then we are going to move swiftly into the element of the wood dragon. This wood dragon doesn't fuck around. Let me just tell you this. This wood dragon is all about growth. Right now, you may be feeling a lot of emotions coming up. And this is because more light is literally streaming into the field, into this dimension, and is unearthing a lot of darkness. It's like there's light pouring into all the darkest crevices and corners that weren't receiving light before. And what happens is that, well, we're going to see more of these unconscious things coming forward. I personally had to really close some doors in my life, like I had to really grow and expand very quickly in the past couple of weeks. And one of the things that happened for me is that I was able to bridge my past version of myself, which was the version of me who was in the matrix very much, where I was achieving all the things. I had a lot of things I wanted to do that I achieved, but I was chasing after one goal after another, and I had the dream job, I had everything outwardly, but I wasn't feeling loving to myself at all. I was abandoning myself in search of all the outward achievements. Whereas versus the healing journey I had to go through, where I healed my misperceptions of what was. I came from, really seeing myself as a victim of a lot of circumstances, to really understanding, oh, I can rewrite that narrative. I can actually see that I have grown so much from that version of myself. And of course, ultimately, there is only the now. When we talk about past and future, it's really still a very mind-made way of speaking. Past and future is only created by the human mind. What exists truly, only ever really, is the now. Just as what is the real thing, the only thing that's real is love. The only thing that is real is unconditional love. And this is why sometimes when we get into a very complicated state of mind, where we think that, okay, I don't want to look at the things that are undesirable in my life. And yet on the other end, you want to bring in things that are desirable in your life. Well, the bridge is in the feeling of your emotions. We do not cast them out. We do not abandon our truth, or we do not hide. We don't shirk from it. And this comes from really mastering your fight flight response, regulating your ability to really stay anchored in situations that feel very volatile, very chaotic, in the situation where you're in transition, especially because I was definitely personally, I can speak from personal experience so that you can get a grasp on how is that reflecting in your life as well. My transition from really running a business that came from the heart, where I wanted to serve, where I really wanted to help women, multidimensional women, to rise to their infinite power, to really stepping in and saying, you know what? I was born to lead in a big way. And what I saw was that I'm going to weave ceremony and stillness into the fashion world where I was in for a long time. Style, luxury, fashion, beauty. It's been in my blood for the longest time. And yet I had to shun that literally like a sage and go retreat into the hill, into the mountain for the past 3 years, where I was completely immersed in the studies of esoteric teachings, in Taoist alchemy, in tea ceremony, in beautiful, beautiful mysticism, coming back into my divine feminine so that I can embrace my yang energy. And let's not forget the divine feminine, which is very yin. She sources her power from her feelings. And let's go there. Let's go deeper into this. When she sources her power from her feelings, I'm sure you've heard of this. I remember growing up, and women would always say, or people around me, I guess, even men actually, they would say, women are so much more, you know, they are so much tougher. They have a higher threshold of pain, because they can bear a baby and they can give birth, and that's one of the most painful journeys, and yet so exhilarating. And here's the thing, yes, we do have a higher threshold of pain, not only because physically we have to bear a baby and we have to give birth to a baby, but here's the thing that they have seemingly forgotten, and it's left out in history, and we are all now remembering as the divine feminine, is that we feel our deepest feeling so that our sacred masculine, or also known as the yang, gets to be birthed. And when the yang rises out of the yin, this is a flame that burns long and steady. This is like the blue flame you see. It's not something that's erratic and it just gets blown out by the wind. This is a steady flame that is rooted deep, and it burns strong and deep like a volcano. It's this beautiful Kali, Sekhmet, Durga energy. And in a traditional Chinese, we call her the beautiful divine Si Wang Mu, the Western godmother. And so we want to come back to that power, that dark feminine power, because that is also the divine feminine. That is also the one, and truly the one, who holds so much power, where the women like us, multidimensional women, can source. We don't have to run towards the yang or those masculine way of chasing and controlling all the time, or even abandoning our truth, because as women we source our power very differently. And when we acknowledge that, when we bring ourselves back home to acknowledging that we are source, that I am the source of my experiences, that I am here to experience the divine, that I am divine in a human form, and this is the standard I get to carry throughout my lifetime here in this reality. And as I do so, I am rippling out this infinite power into the next wave and the next wave and the next wave. And what I'm seeing very clearly in the field is that we are all being asked, mystics, healers, shamans, I'm calling you out here, the ones who have stepped into this unseen realm, the ones who are really well versed and mastery in working with the unseen. I'm calling you out because you are being asked to bring forth your light into all arenas, all dimensions, all networks, all marketplaces. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me whether you bring to fashion or engineering or the computing science or whatever, into sales, whatever it is. but you get to bring this in. And this is what it means. Like in the way of tea, we have a saying, we find the extraordinary in the ordinary. We find extraordinary in the ordinary. We find the sacred in everything we do, everything we see. And it is a truth that we get to live now. It's always been our truth, but more than ever, I mean, seriously, lovely beings, today I was just looking out into the sky. Actually, every day I do that. And when I look at the clouds, I'm like, I have that agape moment. Like I was like, how is this even life? That is the extraordinary in the most ordinary moment of just standing there and watching the clouds. You know, when I sit with tea in ceremony, it's the most ordinary thing, drinking tea, and yet it is the most extraordinary thing that I give to myself every day. And an art that we get to master. It's not enough, and I'm just gonna put this here. It's not enough to really bring forward that thing where we say, okay, I'm gonna stay in this coven, I'm gonna be in this space where everyone is a light worker, everyone is a mystic, and we speak each other's language and we get each other, like all of the things. That is not enough. Yes, it is part of the place. It's almost like going into the temples and practicing and mastering our skills and refining and learning and, you know, apprenticing yourself to learn. But ultimately, you're being asked to share your gifts. You're meant to bring your light. You're meant to bring your medicine into the world. It's not enough to be a light worker and say you're a light worker to another light worker. Yes, there are ways when we look at each other sometimes, like this is the thing that happens often with myself and my clients and the women who come into my orbit. Like we can look at each other and we know we have been doing this work for lifetimes, and we know that you're coming back into my world. I just know that. You know, every client I've had literally would say this. Like, I don't know what it was, but I just felt this calling that I had to come into your world and I had to work with you. And this is something I've really come to own. I'm not about fitting my work into a box. I'm not about fitting my work into a one-line bio, because I am multidimensional. I've had a lifetime, I have several lifetimes in this lifetime. I was a beauty editor, I was a senior media manager, and even before that, I was working in a job that I hated, that was nothing to do with my dream, but then breaking out of it because I was like so freaking tired of playing small and saying, I'm not gonna live like this forever. And then going into taking the deliberate action to realize the dream that I always had, so that it doesn't remain as a dream. It is actually brought into this dimension and lived as an experience. And so coming to the space where we're here right now as multidimensional women, what I want for you is spaciousness. What I want for you is luxurious spaciousness, living as the sacred, knowing that you can only go this far with hustling. You can only go this far with controlling. You know, understanding how to play in the quantum field. Because when you play in the quantum field, you've got to get the first thing down right. And I'm going to share that with you here very, very generously. The first thing you got to know is that you have to fully believe that you are the quantum field, that you are the divine, that you are the limitless, you are the infinite power, you are the one. Nobody else can give this to you. The teachers, the guides, the mentors, they can share this knowledge with you. But if there's any sense in you, there's anything in you, just a tiny niggling thought that thinks, I don't know if this is true, I'm not sure if I believe in this, it's not gonna work. I'm just going to come out and say this outright. And I speak from my personal experience, not just with myself, but working with clients. This is why we go deep into clearing the interference in the field of any disbelief, any limiting beliefs that you hold. Yeah, this has to be the first and foremost thing that you have to clear out of your field, because there's no point getting into deep work and bypassing all those things that are holding you back and saying, yeah, I am a divine, I am this, I'm that. But there is this disbelief that you're not. Yeah. And I'm going to say this straight up. Even if you're the best psychic, best healer, best mystic in the world, shaman, whatever you call yourself, a priestess, there are certain things you can't do on your own. There are blind spots, and this is why we all, even my Shaolin master, yeah, he has teachers. He has teachers. I have mentors. I have teachers. I don't work alone. And why should you? Going back to women with the fact that we all have high threshold of pain. Yes, we do have high threshold of pain, but why should we hold more pain when we're here to experience life as the divine? Yes, there will be duality in our field, but ultimately, here's the real truth. Your multidimensionality is your purest expression on earth. You want to help humanity? Express yourself fully and authentically. There is no bypassing, no rushing your ascension. Nothing like that in my world. This is what we really need to get to, because if it is not authentic, the Tao is a compassionate teacher. I like to call the universe the Tao, the universe source. I call her Tao. And I always say Tao is always a very compassionate teacher, because Tao knows you can't lie to Tao. If you didn't learn the lesson, if you didn't embody that frequency that you were being invited into embodying at that point, at that juncture, you're going to see it again in your field. You're going to see it again in your field. And we are all spiraling upwards. This is what ascension is. You know, this is the path of enlightenment for all of us, including Mother Gaia. We're going to transcend yin and yang. We're going to transcend duality. We're going to transcend matter eventually. But there is this path that we must be devoted to. And that path requires us to truly, really devote ourselves to cultivating a crystalline vessel. And what that means is I'm going to feel everything that arises. I'm not going to abandon any parts of myself, not my mind, which is overthinking and analytical, not my body that is aging, that is feeling the pain and the aches and the constriction, not even my spirit, which I can't even understand in times. I'm speaking as some of the people here. I'm feeling your energy right now, okay? To learn to understand the language of your soul is a lifetime mastery. To understand the language of the soul requires you to return to stillness, because as we return to stillness, we return to source. This is the 0 point where we all must return to if you desire to connect with your higher self, if you desire to connect with the divine. And I'm going to go one step further into this, because this is ultimately where I want to take everyone. This is me as well, yeah? First and foremost, I am not enlightened, okay? However, I am on the path of enlightenment. This is my devotion. Until the day I die, whether I achieve that in this lifetime or another lifetime, Doesn't matter. I am completely detached from the outcome, but this is my work, this is my devotion. And what I'm going to share is that if this is yours as well, it doesn't matter if you're wearing modern day clothing or you're wearing a priestess dress. It is all here within your inner world is going to radiate out into your outer world. Make no mistake, it doesn't matter how much you change your outward appearance or your external experience or circumstances. If your inner world has not been, really looked at, has not really been transmuted in some ways, then it will always come back. Always come back. It will always come back. Energy does not lie. And so we must be so conscious. We must make a decision. Yeah. And some of us are so ready to blast off. We're ready to claim our infinite power. We're ready to play big. Because when I say play big, when I say claiming our highest level of frequency, when I say I am devoted to crystalline energy and my highest level of frequency, I'm not talking about high vibe. I want to make this really clear. I'm not talking about high vibe all the way. The world is amazing. That's all. I'm in bliss all the time. I'm not talking about that. Although I have to say, the more I do this work, and you can feel it in my energy, is that my resting state is oftentimes gratitude, bliss, and peace. Even in times when I feel like, oh gosh, why is this happening in my life? Maybe when I'm grieving, when I'm going through a chaotic moment, when I have discovered that, I've made some life decisions that wasn't very conscious, that I am now receiving the outcome. I still rest in a very blissful and grateful and peaceful state. And those are the states that you get to be in. That is meant to be your resting state. Oftentimes we forget. We think that happiness is something we have to earn, that we have to be worthy of being happy. But that's not the truth. The truth of who you are is love. So if you can even take a moment here and just feel into the love that you are, you will know that I'm speaking the truth. Because it's a resonance. You can feel it in your heart. You're no longer tethered here. Your energy is leaking into everywhere else. You're bringing your energy back in here. And you're allowing yourself to be supported. You're allowing yourself to integrate every bit, your mind, your body, and your spirit, so that you can be in full expression. This is what it means to be a higher being. This is what it means to be an infinite being. And when some of you probably know this, when we speak in light language, we don't need to have words, but everything is already said, right? And this is where I love working with really high vibrational frequency living tea leaves, because when we sit in ceremony, holding reverent silence, a lot of transmission comes through. The wisdom of the cosmos is pouring in the ceremony. There is a specific sacred geometry that's being created where we can connect with the cosmos, and it allows us complete openness in the portal. And this portal to stillness is the portal to source. This is why I'm really drawn and called, actually I was called forward in November to share this work for multidimensional women in my 3-month mentorship called Cha Dao for the multidimensional woman. So if that's something you're being called to really dive into, the Way of Tea is a really deep work that goes on for a lifetime. But that 3 months is going to bring you so deeply into the multidimensional realms and understanding, first and foremost, of the different leaves and the vibrational frequency of all these ancient wild growth trees, and then you can feel for yourself, because ultimately I don't want you to just intellectualize everything I'm saying. I want you to experience it for yourself. Okay, so coming back to really riding the wave of love and light leadership, you know, I just want you to know this. You can be a Pleiadian, an Arcturian, you can be a star seed, you can be a witch, you can be a medicine woman, you can be a priestess. Your connections to the cosmos, to Mother Earth, to the oceans. You know, I used to run a beautiful mentorship program called the Siren Goddess, because I have a very deep connection with the ocean. You know, I even had a past life memory of being on Mintaka, which is the water planet. These are things that I really love to share, and love to really connect with all the beautiful women here in the modern day realm that we're living in. And I want all of us to live and express ourselves as the multidimensional woman that we really are. And that means we're not hiding our magic. We're not hiding away parts of ourselves just because we think people won't get it. Yes, people may not get it, but it's time that we walk and talk like who we really are anyway. Okay, and you keep refining your your artistry, you keep refining your mastery, you really come into building the life force within you. And it is through stillness that this power, this chi, gets to really align with what we call your shen, which is spirit. This is your third eye, this is your crown. We don't just want you to be out here and feeling all the vision and everything, and we don't bring it down into this dimension. Because what is truly happening for you, whether you're conscious of it or not, and this is the brilliance of who we are, because we don't have to control it, it's happening on its own, is that where consistently there is energy descending down into this density, and therefore you can see this physical form sitting right here. And as we hit the earth, we're always rising back up. And this rising up is very important for me to mention. This is that this rising up will have to cut through some density to come up. And this ascension, how smooth it flows upward, how smoothly it rises upward, really depends on your transmutation, on how fast you alchemize the emotions in your emotional body, how you integrate your mental body. You know, all the energy wobbles in the field, the distortion, how do you alchemize them? Is there a crystalline path that leads up? And even up and down is a human construct. We are always in all dimensions. Okay, so this is something we go into. We're going into 5D, 6D, 1000D inside my mentorship spaces. And today I'm really, really excited because I'm launching a soft launch. It's a super early bird price of at Mysteries Gate, the mastermind. We're kicking off in January right now. And right now the price is at, let me just check, £3,988. And this is the first of many price raises that's going to happen. It's going to come up to 8888 eventually, but right now it's at 3988 or 1333 per month. And this is a brilliant time because at Mysteries Gate is where we are all standing, and you get to walk through the gate and stand unwavering in the eye of the storm, embodied as the highest, embodied as the sacred we came here to be. And so I'm super excited for that. And also for anyone who signs up right now, between now and January, for the Quiet Revolution, which is my 3-month mentorship, you will also get access to the At Mysteries Gate Mastermind, as well as anyone who is signing up for Dragon Clouds, my one-to-one mentorship. It is going to be out of this world. And also, I wanted to mention, for anyone who signs up for At Mysteries Gate Mastermind, right now, between now and January, I believe, you will get a pay in full bonus, which is 3-month access to Chadao for the Multidimensional Woman. It is just so incredible to be able to gift this to you, and really such an incredible opportunity to just allow you to say a holy yes to this powerful gathering of multidimensional women who are coming together. And I see this like we are all coming into the temple and we're going into deep mastery in the mystery. Okay, so I'm going to be putting the link. Hello, Kimberly. I'm going to put the link in the comment section for At Mysteries Gate Mastermind. And for anyone who wants to join the Quiet Revolution, which is £77.77 paid in full, payment plan is also available. That one is a 3-month mentorship for you to really go deep into the sacred core of your truth. We have ceremonies, activations. You get access to the Team Mystic Collective, as well as the Chadao for the Multidimensional Woman. We are going to deep dive into this beautiful space and really allow you to fully open up to your infinite power here in this space. And Dragon Clouds, of course, is the one and only space where you get one-to-one mentorship with me right now. There is the 1-year option, so 12 months, 6 months, and 4 months. And for the 12-month option, you will actually get an inclusive of a Kyoto retreat with me. Yes, we're going to Kyoto, Japan. You get everything taken care of except for obviously your airfare, your return, and your arrivals. But everything else is taken care of, and it will be hosted in the beautiful Aman Spa and Resort. So this is the vision I hold. Sacred luxury is the vision I hold for all my women. I want you to fully claim your sacred luxury, that you are sacred luxury, that you deserve to live as the sacred in the most luxurious manner. And that luxurious spaciousness is the new luxury. It really is, because I think for far too long, there is this sense that, I'm going to address this as well. It's like, how do I even have any time for myself? This is oftentimes why I hear from powerful CEOs and leaders. And I'm going to tell you this. My superpower is here to meet your superpower. So it doesn't matter if you have never really fully grasped the idea of stillness, or you're already deeply entrenched or deeply immersed in your own stillness practice. I am going to bring in my mastery to meet your mastery. So what that means is that there is something beautiful and intricate about being in ceremony together. First and foremost, when we sit together, there is a way we can really just kind of feel the pulse of where we stand in the energy field. And oftentimes this isn't done in words. And this is what I do as an alchemist. I really truly believe I leave this up to the great mystery to tell me, spirit would tell me what it is that we have to tap into. Because beyond the logical mind, oftentimes it's not what we think it is. Yeah, so alchemy works that way. Alchemy always happens when we allow transformation to happen, when we allow ourselves to transcend the logical mind and allow spirit to unveil to us what is really there. And when we really work with indigenous tea leaves that hold such high vibrational frequency, we really are merging with nature. We're merging with the cosmos. We're merging with source. And for anyone who's ever done a tea ceremony or have never done one with me, it's always pure magic, because every ceremony is always the first and the last. It truly embraces the spirit of we are constantly shedding the old. We are always shedding the old. These cells are shedding as we speak. The version of me who walked in through that door and the version who's going to walk out that door is literally going to be different. And so it is a powerful way to start to dive deep into your subtle energies, to weave your power through every realms, every arena. Yeah. And this is truly the space to start. And I'm so excited to be here, to be able to do this work with high level women like you. We get to walk as the infinite. We get to walk as infinite power side by side. Your internal landscape matters. I just want to put that out there because we have been told far too long to sweep our emotions under the rug. We've been told for far too long, do not cry, stay strong, don't show your emotions. But you know what? We're not going to take that on any longer. We get to really nourish ourselves. We get to have the luxurious spaciousness to be with and honor and witness our internal landscape, whatever that emotion is, whether it is to celebrate your expansion or to grieve. Your internal landscape matters and it wants to come into light. And that mastery starts from within. That reality you desire to build, it starts from within. And sometimes it's going to really stretch you. And I'm going to be real, it often does. It's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to ask you to go into newer realms, unfamiliar territories, just like I am going through all the time. But we rise from the depth of our cosmic ocean with a passage that always returns us back to stillness, back to love, back to source, back to who we truly are. And this is why I walk with so much knowing, deep knowing, even when I'm walking through the darkest night. I know I hold this stillness within me. This vortex of stillness is within me. I know I can come back to this beautiful place where I am home, where I am whole. And T Spirit, she returns us home to wholeness. This is the power of T. All right, beautiful ones. I am going to wrap up here. Well, I'm going to celebrate at Mysteries Gate Mastermind, and I'm just so excited. I'm going to hop off and I'm going to celebrate with a beautiful cup of tea. I'm going to meet some friends, and I can't wait to welcome in all the beautiful women who are already saying yes. Big kisses. Bye.